This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Loveland, Colorado. We're at Lights for Life. I am here with Linda and John, who are the founders here of Lights for Life, helping children in need with cancer. Let me ask you, John, this started many years ago for you. We've been serving people for over 3 years now, and you're growing every year by leaps and bounds. Tell me, what was the original idea that you came up with here?
Back when I was in high school, me and my father donated platelets to my cousin. He was diagnosed with leukemia. We worked with the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. I was hooked up to a machine for 3.5 hours where they pump your blood in and out. Just experiencing that, and afterwards my cousin had a full recovery. He's living a wonderful life back in Pennsylvania. I've traveled to that, and we finally settled down here in Colorado. I've had this idea in the back of my mind. I had no reason to put off doing it anymore. I came up with the idea, and she's been a great support ever since. We're just taking it as we go. Yeah.
When you're sitting there with your arms hooked up, obviously you started thinking what these kids are going through all the time, and a lot of people think that way, I'd imagine, but very few people actually go off and do something about it. But you know what? You guys have taken the actual action behind it, which I'm sure there are families out there to this state are very happy about that. Folks, what we basically have here, a group of folks come up with this idea, which is recycling used and not so perfect Christmas lights out there. That's one facet of what they do here, and it's the largest facet. Let's start off first of all. These lights that we're recycling, where's the value? What are we doing with these? We're redoing them up again, but you're actually taking the value of them and reselling them back, right?
Yes, we collect the lights, and we need to discard some of the stuff. The lights themselves, there's a high content of copper that's recyclable. So we sell them to a recycler in bulk. We don't have time to remove light bulbs on tens of thousands of light strands, and they're recycled, and they break them down to their basic contents. So every little piece is used, so it saves on copper mining, petroleum reserves, because the PVC is actually recycled. There's a small glass content that I would assume they use up every little piece of it in the process.
Are there any certain type of lights, or pretty much any lights will do?
Yeah, any lights will do, because they figure out how to recycle them. From the old CR bulbs, the big ones you see in the movies and stuff like that, to the incandescent now, the icicles, and LEDs last a lot longer, but they do burn out, so we can even recycle those also.
Now, folks, you got to keep this in mind, weight of what a strand of lights would run here. We're talking their first year, 3 tons, second year, 18 tons, third year, 23 tons. That is a lot of lights you folks have recycled here. One of your main partnerships is Ace Hardware. Tell me how you got involved with Ace.
Our first year, John and I just had 30 bins around northern Colorado, and we went out in our little vans and picked up and emptied the bins, and that was when we collected the 3 tons. About 6 of those locations happened to be Ace Hardware stores. I guess word spread in Ace Hardware. In our second year, we were contacted by Rocky Mountain Ace with an offer to help us with the collection and using their stores as donation sites and their drivers as a means to consolidate them all in one location, and it has worked smoothly, easily. We've worked with Ace Hardware stores throughout Colorado, Wyoming, and New Mexico. Last year, we reached out and we expanded our collection site to include California, several stores in the Bay Area, and San Francisco and Sacramento, and also a group of stores in Western Washington State. In fact, they collected 3 tons of lights in Washington State, and we are going out on Monday to Seattle and driving up north to make a presentation to a family in Washington that has a 6-year-old young boy that has leukemia.
Wonderful. And so we're talking about something that started out small here in Colorado. You're now looking at rolling this out nationwide little by little, because quite honestly, it's on the people are into it, they like what's going on, and obviously you're right behind it. Here we are, a mere 3 years later, and you guys are federally recognized as a 501 nonprofit, is that right?
A 501c3, yes. Any donations that people make, monetary donations basically, are tax deductible, and we provide receipts for that.
Obviously, Ace Hardware is one of the main places you can go down and take the lights down there. Any other places here locally for the people here that you'd like to share where they can take them to?
Yeah, actually, just coming back from Walmart. We're working with 4 Walmarts in the area that they purchase at the store. And then 3 of the other Walmarts are accepting donations coming in the entryway for lights that they've had at home that they don't know what to do with.
We also have all 6 of the group realtors, Northern Colorado, Loveland, Fort Collins, Greeley, are all putting out bins to help us collect. We have several First Banks that have bins that collect, and a lot of other miscellaneous businesses that have chosen to help us.
So let me ask you now, they've taken the lights down, you've recycled them, sold them back. Now you've got a little bit of money from that. Tell me, where does this money go to? Does this go to local families? And what have you seen it used for?
Yes, we present cash donations directly to the families, and we let them decide how best it's spent, whether the kid wants a new plasma screen and an Xbox or whatever, or they want to pay bills, go on a vacation. It's all up to them. I figure they're the best ones to know how to spend it. So.
Wonderful.
We try to find families in the area where the Christmas lights are donated. In the Rocky Mountain area, we find families along the Front Range here. Like I said, that's why we're going to Washington. They collected lights out there. We're planning a trip in the spring to the Bay Area in California to hopefully, we have one family from last year that we're going to be making a presentation, and hopefully several more this year, because they are really pushing it out there as well. So.
Wonderful. And folks, keep in mind this time of year is a busy time of year. You're talking December through February here for the Lights for Life. But keep in mind this is year-round. They are able to take monetary donations. The website is at the bottom of the screen right there. Their contact information is there as well. Obviously, lights are the big deal, but we've got on the screen right now a list of things that they can also provide. Share with me a couple of those.
We're collecting all kinds of e-waste, computer towers, printers. We're actually working with Habitat for Humanities here locally in Fort Collins and Loveland. They collect e-waste for us, and we break things down, what we can, what we can't break down. Some is really hard to do. The recycler that works with us, NorCal out of California, they'll actually purchase the e-waste, and they have the capabilities to break all that stuff down. We pretty much recycle everything.
They recycle everything. The list is on the screen right there. We're sharing with you viewers out there of something you might have. One thing they don't do is the CRT monitors for those reasons, but everything else, they can basically break that down and do it as well. Folks, also keep in mind there, they do have a Facebook page there. You can go on there and like them. They keep you apprised as to what events possibly are going on down the road here. Also, on the screen there, you can also refer a child. If you've got a child possibly locally that would need some help in this way, you can put their name in right there, and John and Linda or possibly somebody in their team here will be able to help them out and see about getting them on the list. Let me ask you guys one last thing before we close it up. This was something that touched your heart, John, years ago. You've now gone on to do something about it. Why don't you share with me one of your favorite stories of what you've experienced, Linda, and then I'll let you finish it up with John.
It's so rewarding when you meet the families and you meet the kids. You're able to make this presentation. This year has been quite different and unique for us. I myself in January was diagnosed with cancer and have been fighting that all this year. So I got kind of a new perspective on what these kids go through and what their families go through, the emotional and the financial burdens that comes with the cancer. It not only affects the kids, it affects the entire family. I think it's just the feeling you get to be able to help them out. I mean, our first year, we didn't have a lot. Copper prices were really low. We didn't get a whole lot, but we did get a matching donation, and we were able to give each family $800. Now that's not a lot. That's nothing compared to what their bills are. But the family was so grateful. It makes you feel good.
And I can guarantee when you're on that receiving end of $800, that's not nothing to them. That is actually something that they get, and they realize that, wow, somebody out there cares. John, close it up for us.
And it's all about the kids. That's the thing. I love it when we can get together with them and playing and this and that, because they go through so much. And the ones that get through it, they're going to be the future leaders of the world, because they got that inner strength and they can do so much more. They have a different view on the world. That's who I want to help.
Absolutely. And you folks definitely are. Folks, once again, their website at the bottom of the screen right there. That's why we took the trek up here to Loveland. We came out here to basically sit down with these folks and basically pitch it out there to you, our viewers out there, so you know what's going on here. Based here in Colorado, rolling it out nationwide, but we can only do it with your help. We can only do it with the monetary donations you give, as well as possibly being a place where you drop off donations if you're a business out there, and also just word of mouth. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.